Okay, in 2014, after submitting my application and following the background investigation, it was determined that I met the requirements within Maryland law and was issued a permit to carry a handgun. As he noted, that was renewed again in March of 2016. In May of 2016, I formally requested an address change and a restriction removal modification of my permit based on my personal information being compromised in the OPM Act. Also, as a business owner, my hours vary considerably. I can leave my house, go to the medical practice, leave the medical practice, go to the communications company. While I'm at lunch at the communications company or in between jobs, I can go do business for the medical practice, then go back to the communications company and then to the medical practice afterwards. It's normal for me to do that. Complicate things even more. I'm also a licensed appraiser and have 7 real estate properties as well. On July 7th, Master Trooper stated that the information I provided was insufficient for an unrestricted permit. I need to provide more information. That's when I provided my third-party witness about threats against me. I was never contacted to provide more information or more data, requesting details or incidents or anything like that. My witness has never been contacted. So it was a simple letter that I sent, assuming that the Maryland State Police was going to call him and get his side of things versus me taking it all out. So I received a letter that I had been denied and stated that I had 10 days to request an informal review or a hearing in front of this board. So that was that. Then on August 17th, just 8 days after my request for an informal review and hearing were submitted, I was pulled over for a minor traffic violation. Even though I do not have the duty to inform, I respectfully informed the trooper that I was legally carrying my firearm, and that after her giving me the go-ahead, I produced my permit and my driver's license. After running my information, she asked me some questions about my permit, specifically a letter from the licensing division about my permit status. I informed her that I had received a letter from the licensing division that my permit restriction removal had been denied. However, my permit was still valid. Even showed her the email exchange between Master Trooper Harmel and myself on my phone. I explained to her what restrictions were, how I was carrying within those restrictions, even provided a receipt for my business transaction just 30 minutes prior, showing her that I was within my restrictions. The next step, I found myself in handcuffs. I was on the side of the road in handcuffs for over an hour in full view of my friends, co-workers, customers, and patrons driving by. I'm not only a firearms enthusiast, but also a car enthusiast, and I had a fairly rare car that I had shipped up to me from Texas. So there's no question who was on the side of the road when my friends and family and customers drove by. Of course, that's what I was thinking about while I was being arrested. So after an hour on the side of the road, I was transported to Braggs, where I repeatedly requested they contact Sergeant Knob with the handgun unit, and was told repeatedly he is off duty and therefore unavailable. I asked them to contact Sergeant Knob because on December 15, 2015, Sergeant Knob, who was in charge of the handgun permit unit at the time, testified before this very board that he personally receives notifications from police officers all across the state when they have a person detained and under immediate investigation regarding the permit where he determines if a person is or is not in violation of the restrictions. In his testimony before the board, Sergeant Knob indicated this is regular occurrence and that rarely is anyone arrested for carrying outside their restrictions. After being processed, I was taken to the detention center, and after over a 6-hour ordeal, I was finally released to stand outside in the rain, waiting on my wife and freshly woken up, not too happy about it, 3-year-old son to pick me up from jail, all for being polite to the police. Of course, with so much at stake, I left a voicemail from my lawyer on my way home. The following day, August 18th, I was contacted by Detective Sergeant Bart from the. She told me that the gun center had misinterpreted the information regarding my permit. My permit was in fact valid, and that I could retrieve my seized property. Although already behind on my other obligations due to being in jail the night before, I was en route to the barracks when I received another call from Detective Sergeant Barr, stating that Sergeant Lopez from the Maryland Gun Center contacted him, that I could not retrieve my seized property, and that I should expect more charges in the near future for carrying out some restrictions. I don't have to tell you that because the Maryland State Police, after arresting me on a huge error on their part, was trying to cover their tracks by placing charges against me, using the permit restrictions as a tool. During the previously mentioned testimony against Sergeant Knob, he also stated, in a wink and a nod type manner, that talking on his cell phone while doing business would fit within the permit restrictions, suggesting that restrictions were so insignificant that one need not to worry. Excuse me. I'm living proof this is far from the case in the real world. After being arrested for an error committed by members of his unit, they attempted to use those very restrictions against me for their justification. So there I was, already had my rights violated, wondering what other charges I was facing, if I could own a gun, if I was going to lose my clearance, lose my job, house, retirement, pension, healthcare, everything. On top of that, after being in handcuffs 5 of the 6 hours the night before, my right hand, my dominant hand, the hand I use for work all day, was still numb. It took 2 months for me to get the full feeling back in my hand. Thankfully, I was in a position to hire a lawyer, which by the fees when you call a lawyer about a gun charge start around $3,500, who met with the state's attorney and agreed the charges were not warranted. On August 26th, I met with Lieutenant Erred, and she's the commander of the barracks, to retrieve my property. Gave me this nice souvenir box I brought with me today. On August 30th, Maryland State Police contacted me for my informal review, which I decided against having. I didn't see any reason to meet with the same agency that imposed the restrictions in the first place that are not required by law, the same agency that never updated my address permit request that I complied with under law, the same agency that violated my rights by falsely arresting me, the same agency that told me to retrieve my seized property just to tell me never mind and to expect more charges, the same agency that had the serial number of my firearm entered in their system incorrect. Thanks for their thanks. I mean, there's more, but hopefully I'm painting a pretty good picture of what happened. On September 21st, I went to request a DVD of my arrest. At the barracks, in another error on their part, Sergeant Parker told me that I had to have a lawyer request a DVD for me. Shortly after leaving the barracks, Lieutenant Erred contacted me, told me that I was given incorrect information that he'd provide me the DVD of my arrest for a $75 fee. I don't think there's anything on that DVD that pertains to my case. However, I do have a copy for each one of you if you'd like it. I want to charge you the $75. So after watching the DVD, I just had more questions. So I filed a public information request for the information related to my unlawful arrest. Maryland State Police took more than 2.5 times what the law allows to provide me with that. I had to involve the Maryland State Ombudsman to get a response to that. I feel the information is still incomplete. They're withholding information I'm legally entitled to. As a matter of fact, I spoke with the Ombudsman February 14 and 15, because I'm still trying to get documents the Maryland State Police are withholding from me. If there's nothing to hide, why won't they provide? Another thing that happened on February 14th is I met with the OPM investigator and discussed my arrest. So the full repercussions of how my unlawful arrest has impacted my life is still up in the air. In closing, I'd like to point out that in July 2016, the board heard a case of another applicant who was a supervisory employee and treasurer of a political organization in Maryland, who cited the same fears and scenario I lived through, and they were granted an unrestricted permit. Further, the risk of being arrested by the errors made by the Maryland State Police is greater than the presumed risk presented to the public when I am carrying a firearm with an unrestricted permit. I do not pose any greater risk to the public when carrying a firearm while on lunch break from work than I do while actively engaging in business, such as holding a business-related conversation over a telephone as described by Sergeant Knob in previous testimonies. In closing, I'd like to thank the board for their time and request the board overturn the decision by the Maryland State Police and remove the restrictions on my hands.